So if you ever had to look inside a professional AV or IT rack, you know the absolute horror.
Oh yeah, it's that nest of proprietary power bricks.
Exactly. Each one needs its own outlet, and suddenly your organized space is just a thermal nightmare.
A fire hazard, really.
Well, this deep dive is into a system built to fix that exact chaos. The tvONE ONErack. And we're looking at the ONErack FAN PSU fan power supply.
And our sources, they frame this thing perfectly. It's not just a shelf. Think of it more like a universal power strip and an air conditioner, all in one.
That's a great way to put it.
It takes one power source and translates it into all the, specific voltages needed by dozens of different devices, all while managing the heat.
Okay, so our mission today is pretty clear. First,
Yeah.
we need to unpack the engineering that lets it handle all those voltages.
Right, the flexibility.
And then we're going to look at the institutional side, the assurances, and the commitment you're making when you adopt a system this dense.
Let's do it.
So first up is density. I mean, maximizing space is the whole point. The ONErack really delivers here.
It does. You're looking at powering up to 32 devices in a single 4RU chassis.
And for anyone calculating, that's 4 rack units high, 32 devices.
And that's just the starting point. You can go up to 64 devices if you get the larger 5RU or 6RU chassis.
But the density isn't even the main aha moment, is it?
No, not at all. The real game changer, the aha for your budget and your operations, is the voltage flexibility.
Okay, explain that.
Every single slot is user configurable. You get 7 different voltage settings, from 5 volts all the way up to 24 volts.
And that matters because you're not buying all those separate power bricks.
Exactly. You're not paying an extra 50, maybe $100 per device for those proprietary wall warts. You just eliminate a huge cost and dozens of points of failure.
So how does it actually do that, the engineering behind it?
The main power supply unit, the PSU, it puts out a steady 250 watts at 28 volts DC.
Okay.
And then each individual slot acts like its own tiny smart converter. It just steps that voltage down to whatever that specific device needs.
And that dynamic conversion is what gives it that multi-brand compatibility.
Yes. But what's really fascinating is that each slot can provide 2 different voltages at the same time.
Or simultaneously.
Simultaneously, with a max of 35 watts for each selector. And if you have a really weird device, they even built in a pass-through feature.
So you can still use a specialty power brick if you absolutely have to.
Right, but you can integrate it cleanly into the system without messing up your wiring.
Okay, but I have to ask, if we're packing 64 devices into one small box, aren't we just creating an oven? How is this not just a thermal nightmare?
That's a totally legitimate concern, and it's why the active cooling is non-negotiable here.
It has to be smart.
It is. The fan speed is adjustable. You can dial it from 100% all the way down to 50% to keep that perfect operating temp, between 0 and 40 Celsius.
And the fan cover is reversible. I saw that. Why is that important?
That is a key feature. So if your whole rack is already designed with positive pressure pushing air out, you can just flip the cover.
So the ONErack works with your existing airflow instead of fighting against it.
Exactly. No more localized hotspots. It's a really smart design choice.
Okay, so let's shift to the institutional side. Once we commit to this, what guarantees do we have?
Well, the units are TAA compliant. That's huge for any kind of government purchasing.
Right, Trade Agreements Act.
And they have all the certs you'd expect. RoHS, CE, UL, FCC Class A.
And this really tells you who the target audience is.
It does. This is for large-scale buyers, governments, military universities. The retail partners, like HDTV Supply, even give discounts to accounts with .edu or .gov email addresses. They know who they're building this for.
Okay, but our sources did point out a pretty significant catch here, something you need to know up front.
Yeah, the return policy.
The product is marked as non-cancelable, non-returnable, and non-refundable.
And that sounds harsh, but it's about commitment. They're basically saying, once you integrate this, you're all in.
That's a big ask.
It is. But they balance it. They offer lifetime support. Phone, chat, text, email. They're standing behind this for the long haul.
So to wrap it up for you listening, what does this all mean? The tvONE ONErack solves really the 3 biggest headaches in AV and IT integration.
Power consolidation, so no more wall warts.
Precise voltage translation for every device.
And targeted, really smart cooling. It's infrastructure that pays for itself and fast.
Absolutely.
But this all raises a really interesting question for the future. If this system is designed to standardize the chaos of all these non-standard devices today, what does the future of data centers look like when every single new component is built to require its own unique, specific voltage? Are we actually building a bridge to true standardization, or are we just getting better at managing ever-increasing chaos?
That's a great thought to end on, something to think about the next time you're plugging in a new device.